for tuning into Heirs TV.
That word gets in you. You believe it. Just like when you watch those cop shows or whatever, and you just watch them over and over and over. You know, some people, my wife used to watch those over and over and over. So you watch those shows, and there's always something negative going to happen. So after a while, that's real to you. You live your life like, you better watch out. You never know. You walk outside, something might happen. Well, you home by yourself? He went out of town? Oh, man, you need to call somebody over. Call the police to circle the block just in case somebody, you don't want to be left home by yourself. What? It's real to you. And I watch how the negative has become so real because we listen to it more than we listen to what God says. So we want to indoctrinate ourselves more what God says. So we were saying something that we talked about before, we talked about it again last week. We want to recognize what God is trying to send us despite all the deception around us. You know, I think I shared it in teaching, recognize the treasures despite the tricks. Well, but you have to really be paying attention. Because if you're not, you can get tricked easy. Because you're not paying attention. You're not really noticing what's going on. You're just winging it. Everything is all good. Everything is not all good. You have to pay attention. I gave you this a while ago. We were talking and how a gentleman got hit by a car. And he was in shock. And so, you know, people was talking to him and everybody was like, oh, my God, oh, my God. He's like, oh, my God, what? Well, he was in shock. He didn't realize he was bleeding to death, right? And he didn't recognize that he was in a life-threatening situation. And the interesting thing is, it's like that in our life. You know, some of the pain or some of the mishaps or some of the slips and trips, you know, watch some of these kids falling this week, you know, there's an initial shock with that pain. And sometimes we're in shock. And see, when you're in shock, like when I broke my knee, when I first broke the knee, there was no pain. So I'm on the floor cracking jokes, you know. I crack jokes all the way to the hospital. It's just me. But I looked at my knee. My knee, the fifth of my knee was on my thigh, though. You know. Well, the initial shock, you don't feel the pain. So, and then you get to the hospital, pain is starting to kick in a little bit. Then they give you something, you out. Wake up. Got a cast on, I'm good. And then this is what they told me. They said, if you push the button, you got to stay in the hospital. If you don't push the button for pain, you could be released today. I'm feeling good, right? I'm like, I didn't push the button. I was like, good, send me home. Soldier. Listen, the medicine they gave me, I just asked my wife. I used up the medicine. I never did this in my life. I called a doctor. I was like, is there something else you can give me? I was in so much pain. I've never experienced pain like that in my life. See, the initial shock through that whole process, I'm good. But when all that wore off, I'm dealing with the pain. But the pain was there the whole time, wasn't it? See, that's why we can't get so caught up we're not paying attention. See, our lives are simpler because of the initial shock of what hurts us in our life. Our defense mechanisms tend to cloak the actual effect of our wounds. And then what we do is we try to get so busy we're not paying attention to how what's really affected us and how it's affected the people around us. Right? So we, you know, and then we'll just stay busy, and then everything is just be, oh, let's just go do this. Oh, let's just go do this. And what we're doing is we're hiding. And we don't understand that the reality is you're going to have to embrace that pain eventually. You might but if you embrace it later, then the effect is greater, right? If not checked, we can end up adding secret compartments in our lives. You see what I'm saying? So if we don't pay attention to the effect of things in the moment, deal with it, now we'll add this compartment. I'll put this over here. And the compartment is normally triggered when people get close to your heart. And so you've seen this before. You have the eloquent pastor who's a great speaker in front of the church, but he has an inability to connect with his family. But it's like you almost like are not paying attention because, man, that sermon was great. So you assume, nah, what I see over there is probably not happening. It's probably just me tripping, because the way he speaks, of course, he rolls with his family wonderfully. I remember Michael Jordan took, I don't know how many businessmen. It was a lot of businessmen, but they paid him $15,000 a piece to spend the day with him. And so, they played basketball, ate dinner. So they had a rap session. So I'm watching the rap session, and then they said, well, I'm dealing with this with my son, and so how do you think I should handle it? And so I was watching this. I said, what makes you think because Jordan scored 40 points, he's a great father? I'm not saying he's a bad father, but I'm saying, why is that the question you're asking him? I mean, I can understand you saying now, how was you able to jump that high? Or how was, you know what I'm saying? Or how do you make those shots? Because that's what you know him for. But you don't know him but you almost think because he's a great basketball player, these people was thinking, sure, he can help me with my son. But surely because he's a great speaker as a pastor, surely his family is wonderful. They're walking on water. If I can just get around one of them walking on water people, any of them can lay hands on me. That's not always the case because some of those people are hiding too. The successful athlete with no patience to grow in his relationship and no humility to start the process. Because he feels, I'm successful. Everything else just falls into place. That's not necessarily the case. And that's what we have to realize. We may be successful in areas. See, as soon as you wake up, now you'll start to embrace and grab the truth. That's why we have to pay attention, because once we start paying attention, we'll start to see. Once we start to see, we'll embrace the truth, and the truth is what frees us. When we're willing to live blind, we accept a lie. As long as we're willing to stay hiding and clouded and blind, we'll accept a lie, live in a lie, and tolerate a lie. See, so how could I put this? The scripture says that a person that works so hard to try to gain their life will lose it. A person who's willing to lose their life will gain it. What it's saying is a person that's so busy trying to be overprotective, ends up losing everything that's valuable. But a person that's willing to, in humility and brokenness, lay down their life, normally gains the things that they want in life. And people work so hard to save face and to look good, it's at the expense of their life. Again, they're not paying attention to what it really takes to be fulfilled in their life. We talked about this before. I think I used this example the other day, like the kid that was standing in front of the planet and says, you don't see me. And the interesting thing is everybody sees you. You're so busy you think no one sees. They see already. You're trying to work so hard to save face. I don't want nobody to think I'm insecure. They already know you're insecure. They're just trying to give you the information so you don't have to deal with it no more. I don't want nobody to think I'm in fear. But they already know you're in fear. They're just trying to give you the information where you don't have to be in fear no more. I don't want nobody to think that I'm scared to do that. We already know you're scared to do that. We're just trying to give you the information so you won't have to be scared to do that. But the person, some people will go tooth and nail to convince people, no, what are you talking about? No, you tripping. And then they'll just alienate relationships. All these relationships God is sending their way to bring them truth so they could be free. They're running from the relationships to be free to stay bound. That's a dangerous thing. You know what I'm saying? The scripture says, the person that's uncomfortable shall be comforted in Matthew chapter 5. He says he'll give power to the faint. To them that have no might, he'll give strength. If you're not paying attention that you're faint, you're weak, you're tempted to give up, if you don't take that responsibility, why would you need power? If you're acting like you're powerful, right? Why would you need comfort if you're acting like you're comfortable? So you're walking around with not what you need because you're fronting. I used to tell the young men that all the time. I said, nobody never told you how to talk to a real man before and just ask for help, huh? I said, all you do is say, I said, you ever just went to a man and said, hey, I noticed you do that. Mr. Lamar, I noticed you do it that way. Why do you do it that way? As opposed to acting like, maybe if I watch, I'll pick it up and act like I already knew it, but I'm still not going to get I'm not going to get the intangibles. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to mimic the tangible, but what makes him do what he does is the intangible. I have to humble myself to get the intangibles, right? So it's just important that we don't get caught up in strongholds because we're allowing ourselves to be so distracted by cares and things like that. We're not paying any attention to the opportunities for us to grow, for us to learn, because we're believing for things. And God said, cool. So Tammy, you prayed to God last week. Lord, this is what I want. God said, okay, cool. This is what I need to prepare you to get what you want. But a lot of times when God's sending us what we need, I'm not saying you, but sending us what we need to handle what we want, we're going, no, that's not what I asked for. No, I just want that right there. Yeah, but to get that, you need this. Sometimes it's brokenness. Sometimes it's humility, right? You know, sometimes it's liberty, right? But again, God is always trying to get something to us. A lot of times, sometimes we've been bound for so long, we think it's okay. Yeah. So I remember sharing with you guys, I'm going to end with this, but the Sluder syndrome. And it's like you missed the disease so much you thirst for it. You were so used to the disease even when you was healed, you looking for the disease. You're so used to that discomfort, you're like, where's it at? I'm looking for it. And that's, some people have lived in that place for so long. So don't run from fulfillment and responsibility. Don't run from your responsibility to be attentive and pay attention. Realize today, this word is for you. Each individual, not, man, I hope somebody else gets this. Because you could be distracted by what they need at the expense of what you need. So realize just for today, soak up all this word is for you. Not for, man, such and such should have been here. You should have been here. This word's for you. That's how you want to look at it. And that'll help you not to fall into the default trap. Because if you can't leave that default, then you won't recognize purpose. You can. I know you're running out of something. Something's almost at the end. So, how much? We good there? Sweet. All right, we'll just end with that right there. Let's. What did we learn for today? That'll be enough.
Thanks for tuning into Heirs TV. The completion of this video or entire audio can be accessed at our website at www.heirscc.org or on Heirs CCC channel, YouTube, and Heirs Radio via SoundCloud and iTunes. Donations can be given at our website. Thank you. Remember, at Heirs, we believe we're just what you prayed for.